Sixers fans, how we feeling out there? Hey y'all, my name is Lauren Gordon. Some of you may already know me on social media as Lauren Fan of the Year. Others may have just stumbled upon this podcast, but either way, I want to first thank all of you for tuning in to Season 2, Episode 11 of my very first podcast. I'm just a Sixers fan, the Lauren Fan of the Year story. Now let's continue the story. Y'all, the time is now the end of April 2021. In the last episode, I told y'all that Dwight Howard got ejected on back-to-back games. Well, on April 27th, he issued a statement that read, quote, "I have felt like I've been targeted, but I'm just going to continue to play as hard as I can. I want all the Philly fans to know that I'm out there giving 130% every night. The calls might not go my way. I might seem a little frustrated, but I'm out there to help this team win a championship." End quote. I loved having Dwight Howard on our team. He was quickly becoming a Sixers fan favorite. He was a nice fit on our team. And aside from being a rebounding machine, he also brought toughness and physicality to our squad. We needed that. I could tell that Dwight Howard loved Philly and he loved us Sixers fans. I liked Dwight because he was high energy. He played with intensity, and at the same time, he looked like he was just out there on the court having fun. As big and as dominating as he was still just a big-ass kid. Whenever we won free Frosties from the Wendy's Frosty Freeze-Out, no one was more excited than Dwight Howard. He would post photos of him at Wendy's enjoying his Frosty. On April 30th, we played the Atlanta Hawks, and Dwight Howard had 19 points, 11 rebounds, in 17 minutes. Y'all, that was off the bench. Joel, Ben, and Tobias each had 18 points. Now get this. Shake had 13 points. Furkan had 11 points, and Matisse had 10 points. They all had double-digit scoring off the bench. Wow, now that is teamwork. That is how you balance the scoring load. Well, anyway, everyone stepped up that night and did their part. I tagged Dwight Howard and Fanatics in a social media post that read, "I need a Dwight Howard jersey." Of course, I placed my order with Fanatics and added Dwight Howard's number 39 jersey to my growing jersey collection. Do y'all remember in the last episode, I told y'all that I hated Giannis and I wasn't crazy about the Bucks? Well, on May 4th, I wanted Milwaukee to beat the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn lost, and I knew that if we won just 3 more games, we would win the Eastern Conference. I later realized that it didn't really matter what Brooklyn did. The best they could do was tie us. And in that instance, we would win the tiebreaker. On May 11th, Sixers fans received some really good news. There was a press release statement made by 76ers President of Business Operations, Chris Heck, that was titled, "Philly Unite." We are thrilled by the city's decision to increase capacity to 50% in time for the first round of the 2021 NBA playoffs. Our fans have created the most passionate and intense atmosphere in the NBA, and it gives us the type of home court advantage our players can feed off in the postseason. We hope This is only the beginning, and look forward to welcoming back even more fans throughout the playoffs. We also want to thank our partners at Comcast Spectacor for being on the forefront of best-in-class health and safety standards so that our fans have the opportunity to fuel our playoff run. Signed, Chris Heck, 76ers President of Business Operations. Wow, this news couldn't have come at a better time. Being at 100% capacity meant we could have a sold-out crowd at the Wells Fargo Center, giving us complete home court advantage. Later that evening, we lost to the Indiana Pacers 103-94. We should have pulled out the win, but when Ben passed the ball to Mike Scott, instead of trying to score in the final minutes, and then Danny Green had a turnover, I knew the game was pretty much over. After the loss, some of the fans were freaking out on social media, so I posted, "Y'all fans are losing your minds. It's a loss, just a loss. After an 8-game winning streak, we got it out of our system. We'll reset and we'll make our championship run as the number 1 seed. Relax." Y'all, I knew we weren't going to go undefeated for the remainder of the regular season, going straight into the postseason, so I felt like we got the loss out the way and out of our system. On May 13th, we played against the Miami Heat and ended up losing the game 106-94. Dwight Howard got a technical with 10 minutes and 19 seconds left in the second quarter. Dwight knocked Miami Heat forward, Udonis Haslem, to the floor while they were going for a rebound. Haslem got up and followed Dwight down the court and confronted him. And I was like, ooh, he don't want no smoke from Howard. But then again, Haslem is no joke either, and he's not easily intimidated. Well, Dwight Howard received his 16th technical foul of the season, resulting in a 1-game suspension without pay. That meant he would miss the first of 2 games against the Orlando Magic to close out the regular season. We just needed to win one of the 2 remaining games to be the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. It would be the first time our Philadelphia 76ers were the number 1 seed since 2001. Now, y'all remember, during this time, the year was 2021. So it had been 20 years since that 2001 run with Allen Iverson and company. That season, remember, we ended up going to the NBA Finals. I knew that it had been 20 years, but I was hoping that somehow fate would repeat itself so that we could just get back to the NBA Finals, and then we would find ourselves getting over the hump to win that NBA championship. This roster under Doc Rivers was so talented that even without Dwight Howard, we beat Orlando in both games and clinched the number 1 seed. I was so proud of our guys. And the next morning, I let everyone know it on social media. I made a post. Clap your hands. I'm feeling great this morning. The sun is shining. Birds are chirping. I'm happy, healthy, and whole. And my Sixers are the Eastern Conference number 1 seed, giving us home court advantage throughout the playoffs. We closed out the 2020-2021 regular season with a 49-23 record, winning 8 of our last 10 games. Y'all, I was ready for the playoffs. We had to face the 8th seed Washington Wizards in the first round. I was feeling pretty confident as the number 1 seed. We had a little break before the start of the playoffs, and it felt like the longest week ever. On May 17th, I got my first round playoff tickets. And y'all, I was so excited. I'm laughing because y'all, this was when we got the paper tickets and the little booklet. Nowadays, we have the digital electronic tickets that you scan. But back then, you had to rip each ticket out of a booklet. Ah, the good old days. Well, anyway, y'all, 3 days later on May 20th, I saw a random Facebook post asking the question, what could you talk for 30 minutes about with absolutely no preparation? Without hesitation, I commented, my Philadelphia 76ers. My Facebook friends co-signed my response by adding their own comments like, Lauren, they need to hire you on the staff. What's so interesting, y'all, is I knew all my life that talking Sixers was my passion. Like, think about it. I'm like at what, 28, 29 episodes in with this podcast. And y'all, we're still 4 years away from present day. Like, I still have so much more stuff to talk about. Each episode, I'm actually just skimming the surface and just giving cliff notes. Like, I could literally talk about the Sixers forever. I've always identified as a self-appointed Sixers ambassador, and my goal has always been to get everyone excited about our Sixers and to just spread Sixers love wherever I go. On May 21st, Michael Dunlap from Fansided and Dunlap Sports tweeted out to the Sixers and DraftKings, quote, all I'm saying is every game Lauren and I have been on the court pregame for has been a Sixers win. Let us know come finals time if you need some mojo, with the wink emoji. I replied to Michael's tweet with, so true, Michael. Some of the best moments of my entire life. I knew we would get to this moment. I just knew it. Go Sixers. Hashtag Philly Unite. I hadn't seen Michael Dunlap since he presented me the Fan of the Year award back in 2019. I was so excited for the playoffs, and he was excited for me. I had to calm myself down and constantly remind myself, we just have to take it one game at a time. Y'all, round one, game one versus the Washington Wizards was on May 23rd. The Wells Fargo Center handed out rally towels to all of us Sixers fans as we entered the building. I was waving my towel to the beat of the music that played throughout the concourse when I noticed a photographer snapping photos of me. He approached me and told me he was with the Philadelphia Inquirer and asked for my name and information. So, of course, I gave him all my info. Well, y'all, we started off the playoffs on a positive note by beating the Wizards 125-118. Tobias Harris had 37 points. The pressure was off. We had won game one to preserve the home court advantage. The next day, I went on social media and saw that my Facebook friends tagged me in a bunch of posts. That's when I saw that I made the front page of the Philadelphia Inquirer. There was a color photo of me waving my rally towel with the headline, Playoff Excitement. I clipped the article, had it laminated, and it is now mounted in my Sixers room. Remember in my last episode, I told y'all that I didn't win the fan cave contest. Well, the video that I submitted, I uploaded to my social media and YouTube channel that Kendall created for me. Well, y'all, it caught the attention of Crystal Rich, who at the time was the co-host of the Sixers post-game show, Sixers Outsiders with Tyrone Johnson. She tweeted, quote, "Oh man, your woman cave is so legit," end quote. I told y'all I was proud of my Sixers penthouse, and I didn't need to win that contest to validate what that room meant to me. However, being tagged in that tweet by Crystal Rich meant a lot. She is awesome. Let me just start with the fact that I am a huge Crystal Rich fan. She's a female who knows her sports. I have mad respect for her work. Not to mention, she has this amazing personality and great energy. So the fact that she recognized my Sixers penthouse and tweeted about it just made my day, y'all. Round 1, Game 2, was on May 26th. It was a home game, and Corey and I appeared in a fan intro video that played pregame on NBC Sports Philadelphia. That was the game, y'all, when Russell Westbrook, who played for the Washington Wizards at the time, got injured, and as he left through the tunnel, a fan dumped their popcorn on him. When I saw this play out on the Jumbotron, I posted on social media. To the dumbass, ignorant fan who poured their popcorn on Westbrook as he was going through the tunnel, I hope you get ejected. Sixers fans are better than this. And that's exactly what happened. The fan ended up getting ejected. That's what he gets. It was such a bad look for all Sixers fans. And I know that it's just popcorn and it was Russell Westbrook, but it was very disrespectful. I'm in favor of treating everyone, including players from the opposing team, with respect. There was no need to pour extra salt into the wound because, y'all, we ended up beating the Wizards 120-95, leading the series 2-0. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid both had 22 points. Maxey had 10 points off the bench. Nice job, fellas. We had won 2 straight playoff games, and I made note that we only needed to win just 14 more games for us to achieve our goal of winning an NBA championship. On May 28th, Chris Heck, who I mentioned earlier was the Sixers president, business operations, issued another statement titled, "Philly Unite." We would like to extend our gratitude to Mayor Kinney and the Philadelphia Department of Health for the work they've done to safely increase capacity to 100% for all businesses, effective June 2nd. There is no better time to welcome home our passionate and loyal fans than right now, in the midst of what we hope will be a historic playoff run. Our fans provide a home court advantage that is both unmatched and necessary as we work to bring an NBA championship to Philadelphia. We also want to thank our partners at Comcast Spectacor for their hard work and resilience through the obstacles and challenges the pandemic has presented to our industry over the last year. We encourage everyone to get vaccinated and will continue to use our platform to educate and assist our community. Signed, Chris Heck, 76ers President, Business Operations. Y'all, for the first time in over a year, the Wells Fargo Center could be at 100% capacity. Let's go. Round 1, Game 3 of the 7-game series was on May 29th. We were on the road playing in Washington. Embiid had 36 points. His skill level was undeniable. Embiid really was playing like an MVP and had the stats to back it up. 2 days later, on May 31st, was Game 4, which was also played in Washington. Embiid left the game early. I wasn't overly concerned because it was reported as just knee soreness and thankfully not a knee injury. I told all of my Facebook friends, Embiid's going to be all right. And that game, Tyrese Maxey stepped up for us big time. And even Furkan came through with some clutch shots. However, we ended up losing that game 114 to 122. We still led the series 3-1, but it still sucked to lose because the Wizards exposed and embarrassed Ben Simmons on national television. Ben just wouldn't shoot, and he was no longer effective or even confident at the rim. He'd get under the basket only to turn around and kick the ball back out to a teammate. And because he didn't shoot, the Wizards intentionally fouled him to put him on the free throw line to force him to shoot. This was Ben's biggest fear. He looked shook out there. And to the credit of the Washington Wizards, they took full advantage of his weakness. Ben not shooting was now exposed as his Achilles. My Facebook friends went to my timeline and questioned, how is he even in the NBA if he won't shoot? My cousin, Alan James, commented, foul shots win games. And Ben wasn't the only culprit. He was just targeted. And that's when the coach, referring to Doc Rivers, knowingly should have subbed Ben out. It wasn't like he was an offensive threat during those final minutes. They will struggle as they get deeper into the finals if this continues and riding on Joel's cape to win. My high school classmate, Jerry Kinney, also commented, Ben's going to go off on Wednesday, as long as no bad fouls. I received so many comments on my timeline, and a lot of people were saying to take Ben out of the game when it's that close to prevent him from being fouled, which forced him to shoot the free throws. My Facebook friend Bob Messina had an interesting take. He commented, take Ben out? Really? That would be flat out stupid. You make matters worse by showing a lack of confidence in your second best player. I agreed with that too. I didn't want to break Ben's confidence. I saw all sides of everyone's perspective. For me, I thought it was just important for Doc to prepare for not only the Wizards, but all the teams in the playoffs that we would have to face, of them intentionally fouling Ben just to put him on the free throw line, knowing that there was a good chance that he would miss the basket because he would freeze at the thought of shooting a basketball. It sucked losing game 4 because we missed our chance to have our first playoff sweep in 36 years. Can you believe that? I quickly journaled, I gotta digest this game. I'm so sad. I have no doubt we're winning this series. I just wanted to sweep the Wizards. We have to win on Wednesday and eliminate the Washington Wizards. Sixers in 5, baby. Let's go. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And be sure to tune in next weekend as we continue the story.